Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night Chronicle, our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. They will be watching our Camarilla group and following their storyline. And last we left off with them, we had just finished the Elysium. We had just sat through the trial of Albert Frost, who died heroically saving the old prince of the city, Geraldine Birmingham. But there is a new prince now, and his name is Thomas Reginald Hyde. And things have changed in Salem, Oregon over the few months that we have given the coteries to kind of acclimate to everything going on. But before anything, I think we're going to have a sad hello to our two favorite faces. We're missing Ashley because she is 4 months pregnant, and having her blood drawn and having some tests takes a bit more out of her than it used to. So I understand you are missed, but it's good to see your faces. I've missed you.
Missed you too, man.
Things have changed in Salem. We're going to get right into it. It is October 26, 1984. A few months have passed. Thomas Reginald Hyde is the new prince of the city. He has done nothing short of established dominance. He has changed the primogen that used to exist under Geraldine Birmingham. The only two that have remained in their positions of power are Ashling McGinty, who is the Brewhouse primogen, and Thomas Tommy Shepard, who is the Gangrel primogen. And primogen is used loosely with him. He has instituted a new set of primogen, and he has even given himself a Ventru primogen so that the Ventru clan has an additional vote on certain things. The Nosferatu primogen is now Julian Poole, who was one of the members who introduced himself at the Elysium. He is an interesting fellow, very amicable, very friendly, but also very cold at the same time. The Malkavian primogen is now Elias Kaiser. He is probably one of the few people that you might not want to interact with, as he is stuck, literally and figuratively, in 1941 Germany. He struts around in an SS uniform. Like he believes Thomas Reginald Hyde is his Führer. Just so you're aware.
Nice. Lord have mercy.
However, your group does have a friend amongst the Primogen Council because the Ventru Primogen is Anastasia Richards.
Okay.
So you have that silver lining in the shitstorm that has descended on Salem. The Tremere Primogen is now Richard Stephen Thompson. He is a bit upscale, a little bit of a southern twang, but he originally comes from Chicago. So him and Melvin have kind of shot the shit about growing up in Chicago, the different burgs that you grew up with, and he has proven to be fascinated by the stories of your police work. So if you wanted to talk to him, you do have an in.
Okay.
And
what primogen was he again?
he is the Tremere Primogen.
The Tremere, okay.
Yep. And the Toreador Primogen is now Wesley Ian Garter, who is another bona fide Southern gentleman, much like Thomas Reginald Hyde. And one of the few things that you've noticed is that the Primogen is completely whitewashed. There's no person of color up there. It's mostly, except for Anastasia and Ashling, it is all white men.
Ew.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the few things, one of the first edicts that Thomas Reginald Hyde has enacted is that none of the domains that existed under Geraldine Birmingham are what's the word?
Valid.
Valid anymore. Thank you. So nothing in West Salem, nothing in Salem. He has started to divvy out domains slowly, but that also means that he has completely washed his hands of the diner. So that's
So
something
he
that
didn't take it from us. He just was like, I don't care about it anymore.
he does not care about it anymore. So you have no financial backing from him. So everything has kind of fallen onto you and Ash and Connie, if that is something that you want to have. Otherwise, you are within your rights to have sold it off during this downtime.
I wish Ashley was here so I can make that decision.
We can wait if you want to.
Yeah. For now, let's say that we don't have it.
Okay. We'll say it's in a nebulous area.
Yeah.
So, one of the other edicts that he has enacted is that he has given Sheriff Green much more power. So much so that he has demanded that Green have at least one clan whip represented at all the Elysiums. As such, he has offered the whip position to Erickson Wood, who turned it down. And he has also offered Melvin the whip position to represent the Nosferatu clan. Is this something that Melvin would want to do, though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was between you or Wilhelmina Statler, who they call Willow. So if you need to reach out to anyone, she's the one that has kind of had a track record and a story behind her of being tougher than nails, even though she is kind of a Lydia Dietz of a woman.
Okay.
Yeah, she wears a veil, like a black kind of
Nice.
hard to see through veil. This kind of bonnet, very classic Americana kind of Dust Bowl dressing.
Southern Gothic.
Yeah, yeah.
Seems like there's a theme with this whole this whole new person in charge, and the city of Salem
Oh,
is like
you
New Orleans.
am I laying it on too thick? I can pull back.
They
Excuse
opened
me.
up a beignet shop. No.
Yeah, that's what we need down here.
Yeah.
So there is no Bruja whip. The sheriff is a Bruja himself, so he represents the clan. There is a Gangrel whip that you've met called Margaret Sullivan or Maggie. He's from Canada. Real firecracker. There's no Malkavian whip. You represent the Nosferatu. There is no Toreador whip. There's no Tremere whip. And the Ventru whip is Frederick Freddie Mason from New York.
You said the Malkavians, the Tremires, the Toreadors, and who else was it that doesn't have one?
The
I missed one.
Malkavians don't have one. The Toreador don't have one. The Tremere don't have one.
Oh, so it's just 3. Okay.
Yeah. In a move that has had people kind of scratching their heads about Green, though, he has made Iacasta Dracos a Banu Hakim a whip. And he has made Marcus Bradley a whip.
Hmm.
Also, one of the members that has been allowed under a 2-year probationary period to stay in the city is Bahadur ibn Abbasi, your good friend. He was solely responsible for turning in Michelangelo Arturo Bonelli for his attempt at undermining the tower because he has actually turned out to be an agent sent by Baron Gustav Müller, who had recently taken over Berlin, Germany. Müller and Birmingham were old enemies, apparently. Bonelli had been tasked with coming over here and destroying her hold on the Camarilla city. So he's used that to earn the favor of staying in the city. Not everything is dark, though. Even though Thomas Reginald Hyde has declared West Salem a no man's land and not under any protection of the tower in any way, shape, or form, people like Otis King are openly defying Thomas Reginald Hyde. He has not declared himself a baron, only because Brent Reynolds declared himself Baron of West Salem. Brent Reynolds has been seen running around with a coterie of some interesting people. Elizabeth Guernsey is one of them. Werner Hertzfeld is another. So is Kamila Barovka. Between the four of them, they've kind of staked out, unintended, and claimed West Salem as a barony. Otis still has his businesses in West Salem, still has his haven somewhere over there. His coterie is still actively working, but any allegiance to the tower has waned. And although he's not an anarch, he is also not doing anything to propagate the tower, especially not with Thomas Reginald Hyde at the city's throne.
Okay.
This is where we are. October, late October, Halloween around the corner. It is Friday. Where is Mustang been staying?
I think she's been at her apartment.
Okay. Has she shared its location with the coterie?
With this coterie?
This coterie, yeah. Either coterie, honestly.
I feel like Erickson knows
Okay.
where she lives. I guess how long has she been with this coterie?
Sheriff Green, almost the day after the Elysium, has tasked you to kind of help them with the set of tasks that they had been originally set upon, and vice versa. Sheriff Green has also came to Melvin with the strict understanding that he should keep an eye on this Simitsi that's attempting to become part of the tower, seeing as how they were part of the originating clan that started the Sabbat. So, given that Grant Reynolds and his coterie are kind of trying to keep the Sabbat alive, there's a lot less trust given to somebody like Mustang, who probably kind of wears the Samiti clan.
So I've been with them a couple months.
Yep, since August, August, September, and October.
Okay. I feel like maybe Connie knows
Okay.
kind of where maybe the area, but not exactly where she lives, maybe the building, but not like the actual apartment.
Okay. On the opposite side of the coin, has Melvin and Connie shared their Haven's location with Mustang at this point?
If if I was told by Green to keep an eye on her and kind of, I guess, take her under the wing of our coterie, I'd probably at least tell her. And I mean, I'm speaking for my stuff. Obviously, Connie may stab me later, but I'll probably tell her where my haven is with the hippies.
Okay.
Now,
Positive.
whether or not we tell her about the apartment with, you know,
Hmm.
with Anastasia, I don't have a problem with it because if she's supposed to be with us,
Yep.
I would probably have told her. So I mean, I'll make the decision. Yes, she knows where our two
Okay.
where the two havens are
Is
because she's basically part of our group now. So
is Lydia still living with you, or do you think she has struck out on her own?
I won't force her to stay, but would prefer her not leaving because um she has some kind of connection to what happened with Mickey, and I need to explore that more.
Okay. And if you do ask her about Mickey and describe him to her, she will tell you that he was there when she was embraced.
Oh wow. Okay. And where was it that she was embraced?
Somewhere in the woods between Salem and Portland.
Okay, so sorry because I don't have a map in my head.
Yeah.
Is Portland west of Salem or east of Salem?
Portland is west of Salem.
So he wasn't going to Chicago. Okay. Let's see. See? Things are
Oh,
already starting.
here comes the detective.
Now, there is something that 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 Ashley and I, or that Connie and I made an agreement on that I can speak for her.
Hmm.
After what happened at the we're at the trial, we did make an agreement and a pact to go ahead and feed off each other.
Oh,
To
okay.
so we're trying we however much prepared we could be
Hmm.
to like prevent cuckoo-ness from happening or somebody feeding way too much. I offered her my blood so that she could, because we realized that what's going on here, we need to be more prepared.
Yeah.
So we definitely would have done that. Now with Lydia, given what happened with her father, I would try to talk to her about that. I actually basically when Albert died, I felt like I had to take her on as my own. That's why I stood up with her for her at the meeting and everything like that. So I would possibly see if she would want. I don't know. I can't speak for Connie, but if she wanted um, to take from me, or if she would be willing to do that with exchange with me as well, for us to kind of build up our strength to go do whatever we're gonna do.
Our first question is: are you and Connie doing that one and done, or
Yes,
are you trying to keep a blood bond between the two of you?
we didn't talk about that.
Okay.
But the blood bond, it's just it's the aspect of control, right?
Yeah.
Or if we're blood bonding with each other, I mean, we're gonna do whatever for each other for the most part anyway. So I don't think we would go to the point of blood bond. It would just be
Okay.
the here. Let's just we need to prep ourselves
Okay.
for what's coming.
I was just wondering what level of intimacy you two had gotten to. because blood binding to one another is an intimate act. It's the closest thing there is to kind of like marriage. Um,
You'd have to ask Connie how she would feel about that.
yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
but
Oh,
and then we'd have to decide that. But we definitely would want to at least do that
mhm.
because with what we've got in mind.
As far as Lydia's concerned, the way Isaiah has described the embrace and what it means to be a vampire, especially somebody from her clan,
Hmm.
she is not at the point right now where she would be willing to allow you to drink from her.
Okay, that's fine, and I'm not going to force anything on her.
Mm,
Like I said, I'm basically trying to take care of her. We will set up a spot for her in the apartment
yeah.
and everything like that, like to keep her around. But I am gonna keep picking at her brain to try to see if I can, like, to the point where she may get annoyed by me, but it's just to try to rehash and see if new things come into mind while repeating the things. Sometimes new things will pop in that weren't there before.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be doing that a lot with her to try recollection to try to pinpoint some stuff.
Sure. And as she becomes stronger in aspects, things might start to surface in her mind.
Okay.
Uh, right now, you do know that if pushed, she can. She has powers that you've never seen before.
Hmm.
She can soothe a Malkavian's derangement if it starts to bubble up to the surface. You can kind of help them push it back down. And you've also seen her heal wounds. But every time she's done it, she's taken great psychological pain on herself when she tries to heal any kind of mental stress, and the wounds themselves are transferred onto her.
Um. So yeah, I mean, aside from that, um, in the time period up until now, that's pretty much the extent of what I'd be doing.
Mm.
Um, there's well, I guess yeah, for now. Is Tulip still involved in this whole thing?
Tulip, yeah, Tulip is still one of
Okay,
the harpies.
perfect. Okay.
Her and Leslie
Oh,
Thatcher are the two main harpies in the city. Um, there is talk that they're going to give a harpy position to what's his name, Antoine Malcolm Davies.
okay. Yeah, but aside from that, I can't think of really anything else during that time period that I would necessarily be doing.
Okay.
Except mourning. I'd be mourning Albert a lot. Like what happened at that meeting has fundamentally changed Melvin and his outlook.
Okay.
He's questioning a lot of his purpose in the tower, his loyalty to the tower, um, and so the Melvin that was in the first season may not be this Melvin now that we're going to be seeing, that Mustang's going to be interacting with, and that Connie's definitely going to notice a change. And I don't know if she's going to have changed.
Okay. Once she comes back, we'll touch on her situation because I want to know where she is now, given what's happened, and where she was before everything happened. Because she and you weren't on the best of terms.
Right.
So it's going to be very interesting. How? What do you do? Uh, like, where's the meeting point for you and Mustang, for your Coterie and Mustang to kind of come together? You come together every night? Is there a once a week check in? How do you handle it?
I mean, I'm I'm supposed to keep an eye on her, but at the same time, um, given everything that happened, and I know that I was just too busy, so I didn't see what happened between her and Connie and and with Lydia,
Mhm.
and the fisticuffs that occurred. But I still would have that sense of, I guess, trust that if she's interested in joining the tower, so she knows what to do is right. So maybe a weekly check-in, but if she wants to come over, or she needs to have conversations or anything like that, that it's the door's always open.
Okay. How has Mustang been acclimating, not not being around Erickson anymore, not being around Andreas anymore, not having the sire at arm's length like he had been before? How's the new regime treating Mustang?
Is Nikolai completely gone? Like, no word from him at all?
He went back to the old world and has been radio silent.
No letters, no phone calls.
Nothing.
Okay. That hurts her, you know. But obviously, like with everything, she doesn't show it. Um, I think she thinks it's kind of a bummer that she has to hang out with this other crew and leave Erickson because he's so helpless, without her.
Mhm.
Um, but she's I think as the months pass, like she sees that, well, she already took to Connie
Mhm.
um quite a lot, but in prior. Um, and I think she finds that Melvin is noble and a good leader. And so she recognizes that and it's like, oh, this could be a worthy a worthy partner in things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think she's kind of freaked out about what happened with Lydia. And she probably feels she's a bit skittish, so she kind of stays away from her.
Okay. Um, Given the 3 months that have passed, do you think Mustang would go to Melvin and Connie for help with the Frankie Crow situation?
The situation where she knows that he's been turned.
Not only that, but he has arrived in the city by this point.
Oh, really?
He is making moves to open up another Crows Club in West Salem.
Um, I don't think so. I feel like if Frankie was in Salem, she would just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, by herself, like with no one.
Okay. So we find this Friday in a cooled down Salem, Mustang pulling up in her car to what is Salem's Crows Club out in West Salem. It is not the same. It is a two-story building. There's no overlooking the bay, but the mountains behind it uh, are striking consolation prize. It's the same symbol, the same kind of brand that he had back in Boston. And one of the first things you notice is one of the people on the list is working as the bouncer or the head bouncer, as it were.
On the list of the dossier.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody that I know.
Let
Or
you know.
recognize. Okay.
And somebody that recognizes you as you pull up, start climbing up the steps to the main doors. It is Nico Marino, and he smiles as you approach. You take the first step up, and he just kind of looks down. Oh, heard you were in the city, Mustang. In a while.
How do we know Nico?
Nico was um, street level runner, kind of helped move things from one side of the city to the other, was kind of stuck where he was because he didn't really get in good with anybody. He was always kind of an asshole, a little bit of a racist, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and just always putting his foot in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But
How did she get along with him?
he was sexist, um, so
Oh,
probably not very well.
okay.
One of the things he'd always ask you is why weren't you in the kitchen?
Oh
But
boy.
that definitely didn't go over well, I think.
Oh.
Um,
Um. Go
he,
ahead.
he smiles down at you, and you can see the fangs. Like he is forcing the
Right.
fangs to be visible.
Okay.
You missed a lot.
Apparently. Nice fangs.
Yeah. Want to go back and put them to use?
Yeah.
Oh. And
Can I go through?
let's see if he wants to talk to you. He goes inside to a phone. It's a rotary phone. You can see him circling some numbers. After a moment, he comes out. Frankie would be delighted to see you.
I bet.
Come on. I'll show you to the Emperor's suite. He takes you around the side. You can see that there's a doorway to the kitchen. Waiters are kind of grabbing orders or waiting for orders and coming out. There's a corkscrew stairway that takes you up. And up here in the second floor, there's a large kind of general area. And then there's 4 rooms in the backside towards the mountains, towards the west. One of them has a double doors, a set of double doors, takes you over. He knocks 3 times, waits, knocks 3 more times, and then opens the door. Gotta behave yourself, toots.
Rolls her eyes.
And as you step in, he closes the door behind you, staying outside. Excuse me. But you see sitting behind the desk, it's Frankie. A little older, a little bit more white, more wrinkles on the sides of his face. He's got a full beard now, also more white than black. His eyes are bloodshot, and he kind of looks up at you. And the warm smile that you remember him having growing up is gone. He's smiling. He's happy to see you. But there's something predatory there that wasn't there before. He just opens his hands, opens his arms as he kind of stands up. My girl. Been a long time.
Like opens his hands like in a hug.
Mhm.
She hugs him.
and there is no warmth there. It is mechanical. He puts his hand on top of your head and just kind of like strokes your hair, fatherly, but doesn't feel the same.
What's wrong with him?
Just a different breed of vampire.
How you been, Frankie?
Yeah, you know, life's tough.
No, I don't.
Yeah, thought I had, thought I had it all, and in the blink of an eye, everything was. He goes
How did this
over. What?
how did this happen?
He goes over. He pours himself. Uh, what would he drink? Do you think? What was his drink of
Scotch?
choice? Scotch. Pours himself a scotch, and you see
Neat.
him just smell it. Places it in front of him at the desk. Yeah. I feel like I should blame Nikolai for all of this because once you were gone, like the first domino. Uh, you leaving was should have been a sign, honestly. After you left, I lost Maria. I lost a couple good friends. And I met someone that helped me turn everything around.
Oh,
Her name is. You see him kind of bring his hand up to his face. He strokes his chin a bit, like he's contemplating telling you. And after a moment, he pulls the drink back up to his nose. He gives it another long sniff, puts it back down on the table. Her name is Gertrude. Gertrude Hansig. He's the one that did this to me.
when did it happen?
Maybe, maybe 3 years after you left. Different now. I don't hate it. It's different.
Yeah. I never meant to leave you, Frankie.
It Things are
It's the
different.
last thing I wanted.
I'm hoping we can start over here, and you see him open his arms wide again.
I'd like that.
At the boys, at the place, got some backers. Be good to have you too.
I'm here if you have me.
There's a single knock on the door. A moment, and then a single knock again. The door just swings open. And you see a wild, blonde haired woman kind of just meander into the room. You know you've seen her somewhere before, but the name escapes you. And she comes over, just plops down on one of the seats in front of his desk and puts her feet up on the desk itself.
Ew.
We need a room, old man. Which one can you give us? And you see him kind of nod at you, turns to her. You can have the Nero suite. It's across the hall. Get your feet off my desk, please. He shrugs at him, pulls the feet off. Very slowly, tracing a line of scuff leather. Brings her feet down with a heavy, heavy stomp, and you can see that there are two outlines of her boots on the floor that have kind of dug in. A clear display of her vampiric strength. And he gets up, she stretches. All right, that'll do for now. She comes over and she pinches his right cheek. Something you've never seen anyone do to him. Thanks, Frankie. He walks out, leaves the door slightly ajar. You can hear her voice pointing at you can hear her voice kind of pointing out where they're going to be meeting, and you can hear a couple other shoes following her. The heavy thunk of her boots lead what sounds like two others.
Who was that, Frankie?
Liz. Guernsey. Bane of my existence. But she works for one of my benefactors.
What benefactor?
All I have is his last name. Reynolds.
Of course.
He's more of a silent investor.
Yeah, I heard of him.
What do you know? You see him sit down at his desk.
What do I know?
Nothing my boys have brought back has been useful.
I know he's the son of a bitch. What do I know about Grant Reynolds?
You want to tell him?
I'm not gonna tell him anything. I just tell him he's the son of a bitch.
He lets out a long sigh. He's like, all right. It doesn't help me, but start. Are you with anyone? Do you have anybody you could call a friend out here?
I have a few, which is new for me.
Like us?
Yeah.
How many?
3.
Oh, that is a lot for you.
Yeah. I ran with a partner for a while, and then we added this fucking asshole, and now I run with another crew.
You'd be willing to meet?
You need some friends, Frankie?
I need some information on this Guernsey and Reynolds. I don't like being in the dark. I like being beholden to people. Especially when I don't know anything other than their son of a bitch.
Sure. I could probably help you out.
Take Nico with you.
No. Do you have anyone else? That's not a fucking perk.
It's like pulling a needle out of a haystack.
Oh, what happened to Tweedledee Tweedledum? Sorry, Hurly Curly and Mo.
They they didn't survive the trip.
Bummer. Nobody else from the old crew?
I give you Teddy.
Does she know Teddy?
Teddy was usually quiet, shy, especially around you. Normally around any woman, but you were always around, so he was always quiet around you. Kind of like a gentle giant.
Mm-hmm. So, positive.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Always very formal, very nice. Called you ma'am, miss. Open doors for you.
Lovely. Well, I'll take not toxic masculinity for 2000, please. Um, sure. I'm glad Teddy made the trip. I'll take him.
All right. He grabs a phone out of a drawer, puts it on the desk. You can see that it's a rotary phone. Dials a few numbers. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get Teddy up. Let him tell him that whatever he's doing can finish later. I need him to ride shotgun with Mustang. Gonna be introduced to some friends. There's a moment, and then he responds, "Yes, yes. Always be prepared." He hangs up, phone back in the desk. He gets up and he comes back around the desk. Good to see you, Raya.
Mm. My heart. She hugs him again.
With that invitation, he does put his hands around you.
I'm
Give
glad.
give me a wits
Oh,
and awareness roll before you
God damn
say anything.
it. Oh man. 4.
Because it might change.
Oh, okay. Oh no. No. No, this is such a sweet moment. I
You
want this for her.
still be sweet. There's layers.
Depends on how much I know. Okay, so a 6 and 8. No, sorry, a 9. Yeah, a 9 and a 5 on the hunger. 7, 5, 10, and 9.
Okay. Uh, you should both be at hunger one, by the way.
Oh, shit.
But don't
Okay.
don't worry about that. It's been enough time that you could have hunted. You're also at
Would
full health and full willpower.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
'Cause after that fight, I lost the willpower.
Yeah. I remember some of you being low on one or the other. Uh, you you notice that when he hugs you, there's a bit of a tremble to him.
A tremble.
Yeah, like his hands don't automatically slide into position. Like there's a tap, a tap, a tap, and then the hand kind of rests against the body. Excuse me. It's very subtle, very kind of nervous tick, and almost imperceptible to regular people. But becoming a vampire and your senses becoming enhanced has really helped you pick up on social cues that you wouldn't have picked up before.
Have I encountered this in other vampires?
No.
I've never seen it. Just this is the first time. This is like very weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost feels like he's nervous about something. Anxious. Scared, probably.
Feels like a setup. Um, can mm, I feel like this she wants this to work,
Mhm.
so I feel like she feels there's something wrong, but it's probably just nothing, At least that's what I'm saying about her,
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a more interesting choice. Yeah,
Okay. But
so
he lets
she
you
hugs
go.
him. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. He lets you go. All right. Teddy should be downstairs by the doors.
Thanks.
Yeah. See you again.
She walks away. It's enough emotion for one day.
Yeah. And sure enough, as you get to the front doors, you see Nico sitting there, fake throwing punches at this 6'2", kind of 300-pound, rotund, smiling face as you come around. Um, it's very reminiscent of Baymax from Big Hero 6.
I love it.
Uh, he kind of,
Like helplessly bumbling.
yeah, like he puts his hand up as he sees you and he kind of waves it enthusiastically. Hey, Mustang.
Hey Teddy,
Good to
it's
see
been a
you.
while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You ready to go?
Yeah, yeah. Got my coat in case it gets colder.
Colder? What? Oh, he's not. Is he
You
human?
you don't know.
Can I try to figure that out with a roll? Or
Yeah, let's have you make another wits and awareness.
all right. Can I figure it out, please? All right. We have a 1 on the hunger, 3, 8, 5, 6, and 6.
Okay. He does not look pale. He does not have the same pallid complexion that Nico has.
Okay. That's all I can tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he does, you can see that there's like his chest is moving up and down. He actually is flustered when he talks to you.
Okay. It's very likely he's human.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Um, have I encountered a human in this game? No.
No, not like this.
No. Okay. Um, yeah, let's put us in a car. Yeah. All right, let's go then.
Okay. Yeah. And as you start driving, where are you heading?
Well, I guess I'm headed over to see Melvin and Connie. Lydia.
Okay. So as all of this is going on, Melvin, for Friday, what are you doing? You'll be chatting with Lydia. You and Connie be doing something.
Um, yeah. We would. So I would have been chatting with Lydia, trying to figure, try to see if I can find any kind of opening in getting some more information about Mickey. Um, I do want to try to get a message to Sheriff Green that I do want to meet with him privately. Somewhere, I guess, secure.
Would you use Tulip for that or Leslie?
I trust Tulip more.
Okay. Yeah. So she comes over by the apartment, uh, or do you just relay it over the phone?
Um, no, I would ask her to come. I
Okay.
don't want to. I don't want to say anything on the phone.
Okay. Okay. So she shows up at the apartment. The the kid, the guy, the on your floor, Anthony, kind of leads her to your door, but she knocks, and when you open it, she waves. Hi, Melvin.
Tulip, thanks. Thanks for coming out here.
Yeah, it's part of the job.
Keeping keeping you busy. Um, how's everything? How are you doing?
Good, good. You know, nothing,
All things.
nothing's come up that needs your attention.
Well, that's always good. But I need a favor, Tulip. I need a message.
Oh yeah, 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 sure. And she pulls out a notepad. Is this for Malcolm?
Um,
Because I haven't seen him in a while.
no, you haven't seen Malcolm, and nobody knows where he's at.
Since the last Elysium. No, I haven't seen him.
Hmm, maybe there's something I have to do. um, if you could just tell Sheriff Green that have I have a conversation I need to have with him with some not super urgency, but it's something that I definitely need to talk to him about in a secure private location.
Not the diner then, huh?
No, not the diner.
All right.
That's the prince's, and I say it with like a tone.
Yeah.
That's the prince's
She kind of
territory.
she kind of cocks her head and then she looks at you. She smiles like, "No, I'm at his diner, his family diner."
Oh, right. Yeah, that's. I guess that'd be fine.
Oh, okay. She leans in as she finishes writing. She's like, "You heard anything from Otis? I know that I saw two of you chatting, a couple of Elysiums,
Um,
or
not
hide."
Yeah. No, aside from that, I mean the last time I saw him, he wasn't really exactly in a position to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you. People are talking about West Salem, and I just wanted to know what you knew.
What are they saying, Tulip?
They're just talking about how
And I motioned for her to come in,
okay, she does.
and I closed the door.
Um, it's just people people are talking about the whole Grant Reynolds thing, and like they don't know if Otis can do anything against him.
Well, I mean, considering he's kind of on his own, that's tough, a tough task.
I mean, is it true about Manny? Do you know?
I haven't, no, last time I saw Manny, he and I were rushing towards Otis before his neck got snapped. What happened with Manny?
No, it's just that one of the things that Manny and I were talking about was how I don't know if it's true, but he said that he had made friends with some of the lupines.
The Manny did?
Yeah,
Hmm.
never told you about it.
I hadn't heard anything.
Wow.
I
Huh.
mean, it's 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 kind of dangerous to talk to them, given the open the open war
Mm,
call and all.
mm. Yeah, I get you.
But what do you think about all this, Tulip? These last 2 months?
I
And I
mean,
look at her, and I'm just like, it's me you're talking to.
we're still here, but it can't be that bad. Um, but
It's a
I'm
matter of perspective.
yeah, I'm more afraid for people like Marcus, his child, and that that Yukasta girl. I'm afraid for people like Isaiah and Lydia, his child. People that don't fit a particular image.
I agree. I'm thinking that same thing. It's
Like
it's
JJ hasn't been around to help out either. Been
I mean,
me and Willow, Leslie.
the thing Tulip, the last time I saw something like this, I was reading about a war that happened last century. People all wanting a certain look,
Yeah,
wanting a certain way of things happening, and it's not sitting well with me, Tulip.
yeah, he's on like Primogen. She smiles.
Hmm. You stay. You keep. You stay safe, Tulip. And if I hear anything,
Yeah, same. And
you know, you always have a safe place with us.
yeah, thanks. She leans in and she kisses you on the cheek. and she leaves.
Okay. I
Lydia.
would have a conversation with Connie right now because there's something very desperately I need to talk to her about.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little thing that you just mentioned that may need a conversation to be involved, specifically with Connie.
She doesn't have any access to any of that.
Yes, she does.
I know,
Yes, she does.
but
Yeah, she does. I know.
Lydia peeks out from around the hallway. Is it safe to come out, Mister Wright?
I told you can call me Melvin, and yeah, you can come out. Good job.
Okay.
The good news is Tulip's worried about you.
Yeah,
We're not all bad.
I'm starting to understand that. Must be
I know
how
it's
my father felt at the end.
he he was a good man, and what he did, and I like my fists kind of squeezed tight.
Mm.
I'm just like, um, he he basically saved the prince all on his own. I mean, it still turned out or not, but there's something about that. There's something about that sacrifice. You should be proud of him.
Yeah.
And Connie and I, we became his family too. And that's why we've got your back. And I stand by what I said at the meeting that I vouched for Isaiah. We haven't seen him in a while, but wherever he is, it would probably be good if we could talk to him.
We'll we'll run into him eventually.
He might know more about Mickey.
It would be the best one to ask.
You've already given me way more information than I had. And like I said, you're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like, but you're not that door is always unlocked for you. You're not bound for here. You're not trapped here. You can consider this your home.
Thank you. I do think that I need to finish what my father started. But it has been rough of late. Every time I start, it reminds me of him and starts to play out the same scene again.
But you know what gives me some comfort? And I tap here and I wake her up.
And she yawns and she stretches, and there's a little bit of a cold nose on the ear. But then she kind of just pulls herself onto one shoulder and just stands up for her.
And I'm like and I just say, I think she could use some company while she does her work.
And you see Betty climb down your body, go over to a corner, do her business, and then come rushing over.
He has to pee first. I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
she just woke up.
Yeah,
She's a lady.
that's right. He has a corner.
Yeah, I mean, any corner is their corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, she starts coming back over, and as Lydia kind of trudges back to the room, you hear Betty's little ferret noises. But if nothing else happens,
Yeah.
you do notice that when Mustang arrives at the Haven, would she take Teddy all the way up to the apartment or stop at the concierge?
Oh, is there a concierge?
There is a front desk,
Um,
the fancy apartment building.
uh, I think I would leave him downstairs,
Okay.
at first. Go upstairs and let them know what's going on.
Okay. So again, Anthony knocks, tells you that there's a Mustang Breck to see you.
Ah, yes. Let her in. Let her in. Thank you.
Yep. He lets you in.
Um, it's just Melvin.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can hear Lydia listening to music in her room, but you don't see Connie anywhere.
got it.
Hey, Mustang.
Hey,
Welcome
Melvin.
back.
Thanks. How's your night?
Uh, Probably gonna get a whole lot more interesting now. But what can I do for you? You been keeping your nose clean?
She doesn't answer that. There's somebody downstairs that would like to speak with you.
Are you in some kind of trouble? Or
No, no. They are an associate of a former associate of mine, and he requests some information about Grant Reynolds.
have you did you tell him anything?
No,
Um, this associate of an associate. I mean, any particular interest why he's or any particular reason why he's interested in Grant Reynolds?
doing business with him.
Hmm.
I guess he wants to know who he's gotten into bed with.
So what do you think? Do you think we should give him something? Give him nothing? This is
Well, I already gave him nothing, so I think we should give him something. I trust this associate of the associate and the associate. So,
okay. Well, if you vouch for it, I've got no problem. We don't have to tell him everything. And I kind of give her a wink. I'm just like, we'll just give him enough to satiate him.
yeah, great. So I'm gonna bring him up then.
Why don't we? I look back to Lydia's room. I'm just like, why don't we talk to him downstairs?
Sounds good.
And I just yelled to Betty. Well, no, I'll just walk over to the room. I'll open the door real quick, and I just say, stay here. Be right back. And I close the door. And I tell Betty D and however I talk to her, um, to watch her. I'll follow Mustang.
We go downstairs.
So, excuse me. Betty D is bouncing on the bed as you open the door. You give her an order. She kind of stops for a moment. She blinks twice at you, and then she starts making the ferret noises and starts bouncing all over again. Yeah, you go down with Mustang, and in the lobby at one of the payphones, you see this 6'2" rotund fellow, and as he sees you coming, like he smiles and he hangs up the phone, kind of waves his hand, comes over. Hi, hi. I'm um, I I don't know if you can just call me Teddy. That's what everybody else calls me.
You, you don't have any relation to a crazy Russian guy, do you?
No,
Same name? No? Okay.
no.
And I just go and I just take my hand out. I go Melvin,
He shakes it.
and I'm just like, and I look at Mustang. I just go, big boy.
Mm.
And I'm
Eddie
like,
and I
well,
have known each other for quite some time.
well, Mustang says you're good people, so that
Oh,
makes you good people in my book.
it's nice. I try to be. Um,
Why don't we step outside?
yeah,
There's it's a little congested in here.
yeah, sure. And as you step outside, the first thing he does is put on his jacket, and you see that he looks at you. Are you like her?
Um, and I look at Mustang.
Yes, Teddy, he is.
So Will, when I touched his hand,
It's warm.
okay, so it wouldn't have like thrown me off like a crazy amount with him asking that.
Hmm.
Okay.
And he leans over and he's like, "It's okay. I'm a ghoul."
Ah, yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. I'm appreciate. I guess this that what I got on is working well enough that you couldn't realize that. So yeah. But yeah, I am. I am.
Okay. Yeah, no. Okay. I don't judge, you know?
So and I kind of move him away from like the building. Just kind of listen. I know whose building it is,
Hmm.
and I'm not gonna be talking with his cameras.
Sure.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Not today.
Sure.
Um, and I'm just like, so Mustang tells me you're looking for some information.
Yeah, I mean the boss is looking for information. We're dealing with a guy named Reynolds. Um, real cool cat. Just kind of always has a fedora, always has a suit on. Just, oh man,
He's a son of a bitch.
that's what people say.
Um, he's a he's kind of been part of the reason of a lot of the problems that have been going on around here.
Oh, that's that's kind of bad then.
Yeah. Um, he he's got his own little kind of posse running around West Salem.
Is he like you guys though? Is he, and he puts his fingers up to his mouth like fangs.
He's one of he's one of the worst kinds of those.
Oh, Republican?
Pretty much. Um, I mean, I'll put it to you this way, Teddy. I don't know if I'd necessarily be trustworthy in business with him.
Mm.
I will tell you this. I've only had one direct interaction with him and it didn't end horribly, but I know what he's doing around town. And in the scope of things, with everything that's been going on, especially in the last 2 months, it's kind of the status quo that's going on in Salem right now. But like I said, he's not necessarily one of the good kinds of us. And I wink at him.
He winks back. Yeah.
Question. Um, in the ranks, where is Teddy? Like, is he just like a gopher?
He's ghouls are usually like the equivalent of slaves.
Okay, yeah.
They're
I
beholden to
just
one
wonder, like,
person.
yeah, I just wonder, like, prior to where he was in the ranks.
Oh, excuse me. He was a driver mostly. He was somebody that kind of helped ship things from one part of the city to the other, um, focusing more on
Front
people.
work.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
making sure that people got to where they needed to be. Uh,
Okay.
so he had a very cushy kind of existence, but he was never like a high ranking. Like,
He was never like somebody that knew a lot of information about the business.
yeah, like Nico was higher than he was.
Yeah. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was gonna begin a line of questioning.
Yeah.
Probably not worth it.
Well, me not knowing any of this, I probably would have been so you guys are new to Salem,
Oh, kind of. Yeah.
and you you said that you're in business with him. So is this a monetary thing? Are you what exactly are you doing here?
Well, we came over with um, a move. My boss is uh, trying to make things happen.
As all bosses do.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, there's, you know, we're trying to um, reinvigorate some life into the restaurant scene down here. He kind of leans in. That's the sales pitch. Um, but he kind of looks at Mustang, and then he looks back at you. We were part of the mob back in Boston, so we're just trying to, claim a stake out here.
Hmm. So your boss is a mob boss.
I mean, yeah, you could say that.
I mean, you did. You just kind of did. Um, so were you invited, or did you guys just hear that Salem was right for the picking?
Um, no, no, it's just the I don't know the words that you use, but the person that made my boss, who he is, um, kind of mentioned it, that there was somebody here that they could get in bed with. Only when we got here, they weren't somebody we could get in bed with, so we had to find somebody else to do it, and that was this Reynolds guy.
Oh, so he wasn't the guy that you were originally coming to see.
No, no, but he stepped up.
Hyde?
No, no, I'm not good at hiding.
Hmm. Um, I mean, I've been in Salem for quite a while. So what happened? What happened? What's the name of the other person that you were coming to meet? Do you remember who that guy was or girl?
Oh, um, I don't remember his first name. Um, but his last name was King.
Ah,
Mm,
okay, interesting.
very.
Yeah, and I look at Mustang when he says that, and I don't say anything, but I just kind of look at you like you're where I'm at right now, right? Eye to eye here.
Yeah.
Um, So if I get any more information for Reynolds, is there somewhere where we could reach out to you?
Yeah, yeah. My boss owns the Crows Club on West Salem.
Okay.
He leans in and is like, "Are there more of your people living in this building?"
I don't really know my neighbors,
I get you.
but maybe. But Teddy, if I hope at least that the information I was able to give you is something that could help your boss. Definitely, it was definitely interesting meeting you.
Yeah, yeah. You too.
And I stick my hand out to shake his hand again.
He shakes it.
Like, well, welcome to Salem, and maybe we can do some business sometime.
Yeah, I'll tell the boss.
You do that. And I look at Mustang. I go, I'm gonna head back up, Mustang.
He looks at you. He's like, "I called somebody to pick me up, so you don't have to drop me off if you don't want to."
Oh, all right then. I'll be seeing you, Teddy.
Yeah, yeah. You too, Mustang. Starts to waddle into the lobby.
So and I smirk. I just like mob boss.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna judge anybody except for Hyde on their past. So uh it's a little. Most people would think it's odd a detective and a former mob associate working together. But like I said to you before, you're you're with us now. No judgment from me.
You.
I will tell you this. This is mighty interesting that Otis King was trying to set something up,
Very.
and obviously he wasn't the big fish anymore.
I want to look into what kind of business they had going on, why the deal fell through, and why Reynolds came in and swooped in.
I mean, let's be honest. Between King and Reynolds, who at the given moment would you be more afraid of?
Fair point.
Reynolds walked into the Elysium, basically pulled his pants down and told the prince to suck his dick, and nobody lifted a finger.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I don't want to do some digging though.
Oh, absolutely. I've got my own interest in talking to Otis. And I like kind of look around and I'm just like, this things can't stay the same, Mustang. There's got to be a change.
I agree.
I've, I think that there's enough. I think that there's enough people outside of his grasp uh, that feel the same way.
Hmm.
I know you didn't know Albert that much, and I know Erickson hated his guts, but he, as annoying as that little shit was, he was a good person, and I'm not gonna let his sacrifice go in vain. Um, I've got a couple leads that I'm trying to follow. I don't want to get you and run up in that all that, but if anything does come out of it, I absolutely will tell you and Connie.
I want to help.
Okay. And I go, let's go back to the apartment. Then I go back into the apartment.
Make your way back upstairs. Teddy's still in the lobby waiting. He waves as you walk by him. But yeah, it's just you and Mustang in the apartment. Lydia's in the room.
Okay. I go because I wouldn't keep it on me. I go to my room
Mhm.
or whatever, and I pull out the thing you gave me, that the sheriff gave me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And which Mustang's gonna be the first person to actually know what the sheriff gave me in character. Um, I walk over to Mustang and I go, "Open your hand."
She opens her hand.
I drop it onto her hand.
What is it?
I don't know if you want to describe it, Will. You want me to describe it?
Oh, go ahead. Let me see, because
I just don't remember what color it was. That's the only
red.
thing I don't remember. It was red.
Okay.
So you see just a single rose petal on that's on there, and on the rose petal, I believe you said there was a skull, right, Will?
Yep.
There's a skull on the rose petal.
Do I recognize this thing?
Give me. Oh my god, the first tough roll of the night.
And mind you, Will, because obviously we haven't been able to play it. Connie would have probably already. I would have already shown this to Connie.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Um, Give me an intelligence and awareness. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. Intelligence and streetwise. What that does.
Okay, so on the hunger I have a 3. 3, 6, 9, 5, 6.
Okay. You've never seen anything like this yourself, but you have heard that some assassins will put a skull on something that means something to their target.
Where did you find this, Melvin?
Green palmed it in my hand before the meeting started. I didn't put two and two together. Some some fucking detective I turned out to be. And I like punched the wall. I don't use my potence.
Okay.
Because I'm not well, but and I just kind of like punched the wall. But I control myself. It's not like that, like
Yeah.
I'm trying to knock somebody out.
Gotcha.
Like I, I didn't realize till after the fact. Rose, the skull, he was telling me it was gonna happen. He was warning me
When did he give it to you?
when I walked into the trial the
Oh,
first time.
before the trial.
When he was
Okay.
saying hi to everybody.
And that was intended for Albert? For everyone there?
I
For the SWAT team that showed up?
I think I think he was trying to warn me that something was happening because
So,
the rose is exactly that's the prince. That's
mm,
Geraldine. That's her clan.
so do you think Green's dirty?
I don't. I think what that and I tell you that's why I agreed to the whip position. I I don't think he's dirty. I think he was trying to give me a heads up. I just couldn't piece it together. But
So you don't think he's dirty, so you think he's been investigating?
I think he knew it was going to happen, but he knew that if he tried to intervene, it would probably cause more problems, or, and this is just me spitballing and putting my aluminum hat on, maybe he's an inside man.
Or maybe he's dirty.
Yeah.
So you want to figure out if he's dirty or if he's on the inside?
Yeah. I before you got back, I had Tulip come and send a message to Green that I needed to talk to him.
Mm,
I'm going to meet at his diner. I just don't know the time yet, but I need answers.
yeah,
And I kind of like put my hand out to get the rose back,
I give it back.
and I kind of pocket it so that I have it so when I go to the meeting, but I'm like, you're right. I mean, there's so many variables, but that that's why I accepted the whip position. I'd I'd rather be on the inside than on the outside wondering what's going on the inside.
Okay. Makes sense.
It's kind of my thing, and I I just smirk.
Yeah. Detective and all that.
And my clan tends to be nosy.
Yeah. That too.
But I know, and again, like I said before, I'm not judging anybody by their past. I know you ran in different circles before, even before. I'm not talking about Boston. I'm talking about 2 months ago. Um, but I think there's a common goal here, and I know that there's a reason why you're with us. You're here with us now. I'm I'm trusting you with a lot. It might turn around and bite me in the ass, pun intended. Or you may be what I think you are, and I'm just tired. I'm tired of these people walking over us. Walking over everybody. I'm tired of racist pieces of shit like Hyde being in charge. I This isn't right. This isn't right. And
That's
if go ahead, sorry.
no, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and we may need to we may need to find allies in places that we normally wouldn't find allies,
Like the mob.
like the mob. M- Maybe even Reynolds.
I think so.
But there's some there's some others out there, and you don't you know by now my sire's gone. Mickey's dead. She told she and I she told me, and I kind of nudged my head to Lydia's room, that he was there when she was turned, and he was supposed to go to Chicago.
Mm.
According to Andreas, the lost souls were transporting. He was part of the transport to Chicago. According to her, he was in the woods in between here and Portland. That's the wrong direction.
That's weird.
There's a whole lot of bullshit going on right now, Mustang.
Let's try to uncover it then.
I'm glad you're aboard.
So where do we start?
Well, I've got that meeting with Green. I don't know, but you said you wanted to do some digging into the mob activity. I mean, we could go right to the source, talk to King.
We could. I thought of that.
I hope Garza told him I was trying to help him out. We weren't exactly on bad terms, but hopefully that might put us in a little bit of a better spot with him.
Sure. I say we go talk to King.
I'm with it. And I'll go into Lydia's room and I'm gonna knock on the door and just Lydia, um we're gonna be going out for a little bit. I need Betty D. Is it all right if she comes with me? Are you gonna be okay?
Looks over usually. Please take the ferret with you.
I smirk and I wave like this to Betty and I go, just like her father. And I let her like climb up and then I close the
Yeah.
door.
Yep. Who's driving to Otis King's?
Well, my van I'm assuming's gone into for eternity because it was stolen by Albert Frost and then he died without telling me where it was at.
The van that you had stolen oh so long ago
And
is
rightfully switched with stolen plates is
yep
now
is now forever in the ether. Uh, but you still have access to the hippie vans.
Oh, that's true. Well, if Mustang doesn't want to drive, I can just borrow one of the hippie vans from the Haven.
Mustang always wants to drive.
Okay, well then Mustang
That's
drives.
that's her thing. I would
I
have thought we would have established that at some point.
Well, okay, well no, but that's perfect because I hated having to drive every time, and when Connie drove,
Yeah, I know. She's an excellent driver.
The brakes don't work. The car starts to take
oh
off.
no, the car's not moving. Oh, good. Okay, so that's happening.
Still one of my favorite moments. Um, so you guys get into Mustang's car. You take off. The engine roars to life, and you head over across the river to West Salem. Are you heading to the bar or are you heading to Gunther's?
Um, would he still be at gun? Like, what time in the night are we at?
At this point, it's probably around 1:30.
It's probably at the bar then. I'm gonna say the bar because it's fun, unless Melvin has another idea.
No, I'm fine with it. If that's where you think he's gonna be, I mean, it's worth a shot. It, it's not like we're gonna die anytime soon.
Yeah, facts.
So you head over into Salem town, which is the northernmost part of West Salem. Excuse me, and arguably far enough away that Grant Reynolds might not give a damn about it. Excuse me.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And it is Friday. You show up. The big guy at the door recognizes Melvin, nods, lets you
I know
both
that.
in, and you hear the rowdiest crowd of young men and frat boys that were unlike anything that you remember from the last time you were in here, Mustang. And over where the stage was, you can see that it's been torn down, and there is this ring, this octagon, and there is a young lady in a what is a torn T-shirt that they are spraying with water pistols and
Ugh.
hoses because it is a T-shirt contest night. Contest that Connie has won once in the past.
Yeah.
Mustang hates this.
Yep.
Do me a favor, Mustang. Don't eat anybody in the bathroom. You'd think I wouldn't have to tell you that, but you'd be surprised.
She wouldn't do that at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are the rules when you come to the club.
Well, listen, that caused so much problem for us because Connie did that.
That's awful.
Yeah,
So,
so I literally just say that to you. I'm like, please don't. You'd think that you wouldn't have to say that, but you do.
She's completely stoic and like,
and as you two are kind of walking in and looking around, and you see the commotion and the rowdiness of it, the office door opens, and you see a well-dressed man, tan, a little bit pale though, short black hair that's kind of tied back, kept back, simple brown eyes, clean shaven. Uh, he's got a pocket watch that he's closing and putting back into the pocket of his vest. But he kind of looks up at the two of you. He nods, and he motions for you to come into the office.
You don't recognize him at all?
Did you ever meet John Colson, or was that?
No,
I
I don't
I
recognize
know
him.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
so
recognize that name.
Mustang recognizes him.
Mhm.
And as you enter the office, he closes the door, and all of the noises from outside are gone completely. And he nods at Mustang. Good to see you again. It's Breck.
How's it going, John? Mr. Colson.
And he kind of extends his hand out to Melvin. I don't believe we have the pleasure yet. I'm,
Melvin Wright.
I'm John Colson. I believe I am the last member of Mr. King's coterie that you have to meet.
Haven't had the pleasure up to this point, but it's nice to meet you.
Gretel was right, down to the minute. And you see that there's a smug smile on his face when he says that. Um, and you notice that behind one of the filing cabinets, there's a full body mirror. But he
Oh,
sits down.
Jesus Christ.
But he sits down.
Smash the mirror, please.
How can I be of service to you?
I'm like, hi Manny, just in case.
He smiles.
Um,
You won't find him here. He's with Otis.
well,
Dimitri, on the other hand, is up on the catwalk.
it's very nice. I've been there before. Um, we were actually looking to talk to Otis. We didn't know if he was going to be here or somewhere else. But we figured we'd take a shot.
Oh, it is a Friday, so he should be around at some point. You're free to stay and wait for him. Plenty of tables outside, and I can make some available for you if you'd like.
Is
Yeah.
this Colson? Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh no, go.
Is this him?
you think it is? I mean, he's got the same air. And he mentioned Gretel, which you know he had a hand in teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, a table would probably be nice. So we can talk to Otis. How is how are things going for you guys over here? I know it's kind of a tricky situation.
We have enough to front the storm if we have to. We were lucky enough that we all bought into businesses that gave us a kind of vein towards each other. So We have an easy route from here to Gunther's and vice versa.
That's good. How's Otis doing? The last time I saw him, well, Manny and I were running to try to help him out.
I heard. I appreciate that. Um, Otis has seen better days. He is he has succumbed, fortunately, to his baser rage, and I fear that that is tainted his decisions the last couple months.
Business?
All of the above.
I'm curious. Did he start any business dealings and then abandon them?
Not in the last few months. If anything, he's had business dealings taken from him by other venture in the city.
Really?
Yeah.
Like like which business ventures?
Um, the biggest one that we stood to really gain some ground with was a restaurant in not far from the bridge. It's called the Crows Club.
Mm.
He was supposed to be one of the main financial backers. He had done the legwork on getting the permits, the site picked. It would have been it would have been a fantastic linchpin in creating a network straight north to south, and we could have created a nice division line between kind of four corners where Grant Reynolds has sent his goons. Um, but it was taken from him, and he got moved closer to the river and further away from being of any use to us whatsoever.
Who took it?
We think Hyde gave it to one of his club members, if you understand my meaning. And he kind of makes a cone shape with his hands above his head.
Mm. Yeah.
The name is Gustav Lodikoff Orsten. Real European piece of shit. Old money. Rumor is he was a count. That would put him at least 200 years old.
Mm. Interesting. Tell me more about the Crow Club.
I mean, it's a restaurant. It's set up to be a base of operations. Um, they basically took our designs, modified them.
Designs for.
The Crows Club was supposed to be kind of underground railroad stop for us. Supposed to
Mhm.
be a haven, a house anyone that we need to house, storage facility to help us produce supplies should we need it. And now it's become more of a facade for a fort.
What kind of supplies?
Guns, bagged blood, bodies for Manny.
Mm. That it?
Most of it. easy, simple vehicles on hand, motorcycles.
So just to have an understanding, so just correct me if I'm wrong. According to, as far as you guys are aware, it was sold to this. It was given to this Gustav character and taken from you.
Correct.
I look at Mustang and I just kind of give her this face,
Mm.
like,
Uh,
okay, Mustang. Is there anything else you'd want to ask, or do you want to wait for Otis?
Yeah, let's wait for Otis.
We'll take that table, Mr. Colson. And
Sure.
I stand up and I put my hat back on.
He goes.
Before we leave, just gonna do something very strange.
Okay.
Do it.
I apologize for what I'm about to do. She comes up to the mirror and smashes it with her fist.
Okay.
I just kind of go, okay.
Yeah.
Then she
Yeah.
pulls out some money and puts it on the desk.
All right.
Kind of like Erickson does every
Yeah.
time he
Yeah.
breaks something.
I get you. Yeah. He looks at you. He nods. Huh. You know about that?
Yeah.
I can only assume it's because of your dealings with Givens.
Yeah.
Right. One more thing to add to my list of grudges against him. Then
Don't forget to smash your mirrors.
I I need them. Miss Breck. It's how we get to our chantries. But he goes over and he opens the door, and immediately you are bombarded by this music. You hear the guys cheering. You step outside. There's a completely different girl on the mechanical bull. Her shirt is completely off. They are just memories to the winds. And he goes over to one of the tables. The two gentlemen that are sitting there kind of say something to him, and then you see him pull down his glasses to kind of create eye contact. And the two guys immediately kind of get up afterwards and go over to the bar. Emotions. The two seats that are now open.
I nod and I kind of go like this to Mustang,
Down.
Yep.
and I'll sit down also and like, thank you again, Mr. Colson. I'm not gonna scream
Yeah.
now into your
And
microphone, but
he just kind of gives you that full salute and nods, and then he goes into the office, closes the door. Uh, and after a while,
well, I actually want to say something to Mustang.
okay,
Yeah, I kind of look over to you. I'm like, um,
Gustav.
yeah, and the mirror thing. Like we're gonna need to talk about the mirror thing. Because he said and you said yeah, but I don't know, and you smashed it. But that's not important right now. Yeah, Gustav.
Yeah.
Um, is that the information he was given?
Maybe they
'Cause-
don't know.
Is that something we should tell them?
Not right
Because
now. I
yeah,
think we should talk to Otis first and see if the stories match up.
I agree. Because Mr. Colson did say Otis is kind of in a rage and it's messing with his judgment. So
Yeah, that's why I
maybe
felt like maybe some of his business dealings, maybe he lost his own business dealing because of how mercurial he's being.
the good thing, however, is now we know where we can get supplies if we decide to take this to another level.
That's true.
pair of
This is
arms snake down either side of your shoulders, Melvin, until they kind of come to a hug from behind. And you hear this voice. Oh, it's good to see you. And pulling a chair right from underneath some guy who complains and then immediately backs off when this woman hisses at him. You see the wild blonde hair and just the crazy eyes, and Elizabeth Guernsey sits down next to you. Look,
Wow.
look at me coming to see my lovers around, and I get the two of you instead.
How are you doing this evening?
Good. Tilts her head towards Mustang. How's Erickson? Still breathing? Technically?
Apparently.
You've been quite busy, Mrs. Guernsey.
She puts her hand on top of yours. I, I got time if you want to do something.
Mhm.
What do we what do we owe the pleasure of your company here?
Oh, I'm just hunting. You feel like a run? And this is where we'll end tonight's episode. I want to thank everybody for joining us as always. If anything, I will see you on Friday for our Star Wars Out in the Dark episode. And starting with Star Wars on Friday, we will be kicking off our month long, October long fundraiser event. We have partnered up with McStavish Studios and the National Breast Cancer Foundation to try to raise some money for breast cancer research and breast cancer assistance. So there'll be some good times fundraising ahead. Uh, Next week, you can catch us with our Anarch chapter of Vampire the Masquerade, and starting on Tuesdays, I will be at McStabber Studios running our second season of Mage in Miami. This time it's called the Neon Tempest. It is set a year after the last season, and it's a whole new cast dealing with what happened the last year in Miami. Uh, and then the next two Fridays will be dark for Star Wars, but I will be found playing as a player in a Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition game for Onyx Path. We have been invited as they enjoyed the werewolf game that Ravenna ran over at McCyber Studios last month, and it has been a fantastic outing. So I hope you guys catch that as well. I got to play a Red Talon Philodox, so it was my honor and my pleasure to play one of the what is considered a troublesome tribe, uh, and bring some new light to what is something that is not normally played, and usually kept from players because they could be troublesome. But as always, because we take mental health on this channel very seriously, if you are watching live, there are some phone numbers going up in Twitch chat to help you get the help that you need. Don't be afraid to reach out. There shouldn't be a taboo or stigma about it at all. If you're not in the United States, there's a website link that you can follow to help you kind of find the resources in your area, so you can get the help that you need. Also, uh, please continue to wash your hands, continue to wear your masks. If you feel like it, continue to keep your distance, and get yourselves vaccinated because we're still dealing with this thing a year and a half later, and it is because of the people that just refuse to get vaccinated and help with herd immunity, and just to help get everything settled and taken care of. Uh, so please, if you haven't and you're on the fence, get yourself vaccinated. I'm vaccinated, uh, and I'm still kicking and haven't noticed any third eyes or third nipples. So please, it's pretty safe. But as always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and you know where to find me if you need to find more of our games out on the interwebs. All right, take care, and I will see you when I see you.